Hello, friends. My name is Aslam Sheikh, your host for this evening. I'm the founder and CEO of Alif, a platform to promote the global perspective of education and career. This is our 54th webinar series and broadcasted live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Every Friday, we aim to bring in the valuable speakers to discuss the topic that is important to you and for your career. Those who are joining us first time, let me quickly introduce you who we are. So as a company, we are an award-winning education company. We've been named among the top 10 best consulting, study abroad consulting firms in India by Knowledge Review. We also have counseled over 23,000 students in last 11 years. That speaks about their experience. And we do represent 200 plus universities from across 14 plus countries. We specialize into student scholarship, and up till now, we have distributed 23 crore rupees worth scholarship to our students under various categories. So let's quickly move on to our today's topic in how universities in US, UK, and Switzerland are welcoming students in 2021. And there are lots of queries from the students and parents who wants to know what's the scenario in that particular country. So we have decided to take 3 countries in this week, and next week we are going to have 3 different countries so that you get a different global perspective and make a wise decision of going abroad. To discuss these exciting subjects, we have with us an expert panel of speakers, and let me do the honor of introducing them. So let's have our first speaker,
Hello, Aslam.
Greta. Hi, Greta.
Hi.
Good to have you.
Thank you for having me here. Very nice to talk to everybody today, and obviously hope everybody keeps safe.
Sure. Thank you very much, Greta. And let me introduce Greta to our audience. Greta is the Director of International Business Development of IMI Lucerne, Switzerland. With a background in recruitment, Greta joined IMI as the Head of Careers and Internship, securing exciting placement for students around the world. She now leads the school's BDA team responsible for student recruitment, international development, and alumni relations. Thank you, Greta, and I'll come back to you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, let's have our next speaker, Pallavi Sharma. Hi, Pallavi.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Pallavi. Thank you for joining us. And let me quickly introduce you to our audience. Pallavi is a regional advisor, Southeast Asia for Tiffin University, US in Ohio State. Pallavi has over 16 years of total experience along with 7 years in education industry. She worked with UK and US educational institutes. Prior to this, she was working in the IT industry giants like Wipro, HCL, and Birlasoft. Switching to the international education was a conscious choice based on the students' engagement as a part of her experience as a teacher early in her career. Pallavi is a sports enthusiast and believe in holistic development of a student. Thank you, Pallavi, for
Thank you.
joining us, and I'll come back to you soon.
Thank you for having me, Aslam. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and let's move to our next gentleman, Mr. Pranesh Kumar Sinha. Hello, Pranesh. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Aslam. Great to be on call today with students and parents. Thank you so much for inviting us, rather. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And let me do the honor of introducing Pranesh quickly. So Pranesh is a South Asia manager on campus Cambridge Education Group. 14 years of experience in international recruitment with CEG since 2017. Pranesh Sinha has an overall experience of 18 years and he invested 14 in international student recruitment. Postgraduated in insurance from Amity Business School, had served at GE and ICI Lombard in different capacities. In international recruitment, had taken lead in developing recruitment strategies, agency development in South Asia, and has worked with both university and pathway providers of UK. Thank you, Pranesh, and let me come back to you soon on this topic. Okay, so friends, we are going ahead with our topic and we have got a short span of time to cover loads of questions. So listen to the program carefully. And if you have any question, please do not forget to write your comment or your feedback or your questions to the comment column or box through the different channels you would be watching for. So let's begin our today's session and let's have our speakers one by one to talk on this very important topic. And let me do an honor to have our first speaker, Greta, to join us and ask Greta. Greta represents a Swiss, very beautiful hospitality and business college. It's a very boutique institute. And Greta, we would like to know what kind of unique experience your institute can offer to students who are aspiring to visit Switzerland or Europe for higher education? Greta.
Sure. Well, thank you, Aslam, and hello, everybody again. So we provide education specifically related to business marketing, hospitality, culinary, events, tourism. So those are the areas we specialize in. And students who come to study with us will also get a UK degree at the same time. So it's the combination of the Swiss excellence and the British also academic reputation. And students will live and study on the campus for their period of study, which generally is 6 months. And then for the next 6 months, they go out to work, they go out to do an internship experience, and they get paid. So in Switzerland, the internship salary is the highest probably in the world, yeah. We teach in English. Students can also learn a new language. And what better place to do it but in beautiful Switzerland, where you're surrounded by the lakes, the mountains, and it's, fresh air all around. So, for anybody interested in these specializations, then I think Switzerland is the place to be.
Thank you very much, Greta, for being so concise with your answer. And let me just quickly add a few points what Greta mentioned. She mentioned, of course, that about the internship and internship stipend, which is very important to note from the students and parents' point of view when you are budgeting your studies. Switzerland offers, as she rightly said, one of the highest minimum wages per month for students who wants to do their internship as a part of the course, and it is amounting around 2,200 Swiss francs approximately per month, which converted into Indian rupees would be approximately 1,45,000, a gross Indian rupees stipend. And that makes Switzerland the highest payer in terms of internship stipend ever paid by schools to the students. And as Greta mentioned, it's a country of full of lakes. So there are more than 7,000 lakes in such a small country, and that makes this country really naturally beautiful. Thank you very much, Greta. And let's move to and let's have another speaker, and let's change the gear. And that's what we are going to do in this half an hour. We are going to shift our gear from Switzerland to US to UK and back again. So now it's a turn to US, and Pallavi is there with us. Pallavi, Ohio is the state to always talk about for education and for students community.
Yeah.
And we would like to know that what makes Tiffin University a favorite choice for students who are looking to study in US and especially in the state of Ohio.
Sure. So there are many reasons, but since I have to be very, very short here, so I would just touch upon the important points here. So first of all, it's a Midwestern region, which is, Ohio itself is a Midwestern region. So it is more suited from the weather perspective for the students. But yes, other than that, Tiffin University specifically, it had started as a business school. So we definitely specialize in the business programs, the programs in criminal justice and social sciences, and of course, the School of Arts and Sciences, one of the most popular program among the Asian students, I would say. In general, we find that Tiffin University is one of the affordable options for these students, and they definitely look for that kind of option in the US. Other than that, we make it more affordable for them by giving them merit-based scholarships. One of the important aspect is having very small class sizes. So the student to professor ratio that we have is 15:1. And of course, we offer more than 50 organizations and clubs for the students to really do their co-curricular or the extracurricular activities at the campus. So these are a few of the points that I can mention very quickly. And maybe we can talk about the programs a little later if you want, or you want me to touch base on that right away?
Yeah, I'll come back to you for the program, definitely.
Sure. Thank you.
And I would like to provide some context to what you said, Pallavi, very rightly, to our students and listeners. So as Pallavi said, that it's one of the most reasonable places to study in US. As per the research, the cost of study in Ohio is 35% lesser than the cost of study in California. And that's very important for you to note that, because a lot of time we get carried away with the big branded states or cities of a particular country. And as a matter of fact, in Switzerland, also the same thing. You always hear about Zurich and Geneva, but they are the most expensive cities in the world, not only in Switzerland. So you need to be very cautious as a student that what is more important to you, how much you want to spend. And this is where the state or the city or the location becomes very important consideration. Thank you, Pallavi, for that piece of information. And on that point, let's have Pranesh in the room. And Pranesh, thank you for joining us. And we would like to start, and we have got very interesting proposal to discuss with you and the question discuss with you, that students always admire and aspire to study at one of the best universities. And especially when we come back to UK, they have got the aspiration to get into the best of best universities in UK. How can students with a mediocre marks can get into UK? Is that first of all, is possible? If yes, then what is the secret behind it?
Oh, that's a very good question, Aslam, to ask. Now, the answer is yes. Mediocre student can get into top universities in the UK. But before I give a very direct answer to it, let me just try to explain you. So what we do at CEG, at Cambridge Education Group, is that we offer foundations to 10th, 11th, and 12th pass students. One, that leads to bachelor's at university. We also offer international year ones to class 12 students. That leads to second year of bachelor's at university. And then we have pre-masters that we offer to bachelor students to get into masters. So how things happen is that we actually focus on two components. One is academic support. The other is English support. Let's say a student from class 12 with mediocre marks, like 45%, 50, 55% joins us and is doing a business pathway, would study subjects like English, business finance, advanced math, skills for business. We ensure that this student comes up to a level where he or she is accepted by the university. Irrespective of the fact that student had lower marks in class 10s, 11s, or 12s, we work rigorously with students to improve their quality and make them enter into top end universities in the UK. So take an example again, come and study with us at on-campus Aston, leading to Aston University, which is among the top 30 universities in the UK. Take example of on-campus Southampton, leading to University of Southampton, which is among the top 15 universities in the UK, rather a Russell Group university. Study at on-campus London, leading to QMUL, RHUL, the Royal Holloway University of London, or the Queen Mary University of London, the Birkbeck University of London. So this is how we actually help students fulfilling their dream and wish to study at a top university in UK.
Wow. So friends, that's the secret formula what Pranesh has showed to you, that you should not be losing your hope in case if you not cracked your exams with high marks, and especially in this given pandemic situation whereby we don't know how the exams results are going to be calculated, and there are lots of rumors about it, of having a different style of calculation. Whatever would be the situation, this could be your good pathway to still make into your dream university. Thank you, Pranesh. Let's again go back to Switzerland, and let's join Greta on the next point. Greta, one very important point, and I would say that very exclusive point to mention about Switzerland is inclusivity in terms of its facilities for the students. And I'm sure that you would like to talk more about it, because especially when the undergrad students wants to come, parents are very much worried. How will he or she manage the food, accommodation, where they will live, what is the safety measures monitored or observed in that particular place? So would you like to share about the facilities and how do you take care of the students when they come on campus?
Absolutely. So actually, there's nothing to think about. That's the beauty of it, because when you choose to come to, let's say, IMI Switzerland, you have your tuition included, the books are included, the room, the meals, the sheets, towels, water, electricity, Wi-Fi, health insurance, and even airport pickup. So everything really is included in our fees. Switzerland is expensive as a country, but actually when it comes to the fees that we charge, it's really quite affordable, especially with then the paid internship option coming up in the second part of the year. So you do not pay any fees during the internship. You just go out to work literally and you earn money. So actually, in the end, Switzerland is not more expensive than other traditional destinations on offer. IMI's speciality, I would say, is based on 4 elements, and we are really looking at, of course, the academic quality, the employability of the students, the location itself. I mean, we are Swiss, yes, and we want this to come across in everything that we do. Everything in Switzerland is about the highest quality, really. And most importantly is the student experience. So we have activities on the campus. We have things like sports day, international nights. We also organize, for example, skiing trips for students who wish to go skiing or going to a theme park in Germany, potentially. And actually the beauty of also getting a study permit for Switzerland means that the students can also travel in the rest of Europe, in the Schengen countries, without the need for a visa. So imagine, I mean, from Lucerne, where we are located, you take the train, in 3 hours, you're in Milan, in Italy. Or you take the train, 4 hours, you're in Paris, in France. Or you fly for 1 hour and you're in Berlin, in Germany. So really, it is very easy to get around and to not only get the Swiss experience, but generally the European exposure as well.
European experience. I strongly agree with you. So that's very important point. So when you're going for international education, you do not just want that particular country's experience where you're going for study. Maybe you want to explore the neighboring countries, and that what actually adds to the international exposure onto your profile. And this is where Switzerland helps you, because being in the center of Switzerland, it's so easy that you can make your weekend programs to the different countries. Thank you, Greta, for this point of view. And let's move to US now. Pallavi, of course, you have got so many courses to talk about as a huge university and its expertise, but we would like you to focus on to your flagship programs, and especially for undergrad students, if you would like to focus on in this particular session, what you would like to say and why they are so special.
Right. So for the undergrad students, we offer 3 different schools: the School of Arts and Sciences, the School of Business, and the School of Criminal Justice and Social Sciences. Now, if I have to touch upon a few programs, I would first of all mention that we are also a NCAA Division II school. So we do recruit athletes from all over the world. And we do have a sports management program at the campus for the undergrad students, which includes sports management, sports marketing, those kind of programs. And of course, one of our flagship program is the business programs. We have about 8 concentrations in that segment, and which of course range from accounting, finance, manufacturing management, or the supply chain management, under the same segment. Other than that, students do feel very interested in our criminal justice programs, which includes the cybersecurity, forensic sciences, and forensic psychology program, which is a very unique program to offer to the students. I would also say that we have core psychology programs, because most of the times I've realized that most of the Asian students specifically do not want to go for a very niche program like forensic psychology at the bachelor's level. So for those students, they are very interested in the core psychology program, which involves the human counseling.
That's right. Yes, that's true. Most of the students, they would want to be as wide as possible with their bachelor's, and this could be the options. Very important point is that what Pallavi mentioned about is also athletes, and we have seen a lot of metro cities have got the students who are very actively involved in sports. So that could be a very important point for you to look at the non-traditional programs, and Tiffin could be one of the good options available for you.
Yeah, I just wanted to add there. I'm sorry. if I interrupted. So I just
Sure.
wanted to add a lot of students do not really know this, but when they come for any academic program, they can also take a NCAA route or the applications through the NCAA to get the athletic scholarships if they have performed at a national or other levels beyond that. So that is one good way to really make more affordable for the students, really. So,
Absolutely.
that's one option that I wanted to let the
Yeah, I
students know.
mean, we would surely make an attempt to promote this very particular, very important piece of information, and that could be very useful for the good sport athletes, sportsmen,
Yes.
sportswomen who would like to make a good career. Thank you, Pallavi. Okay, let's move to UK again, and let's have Pranesh. Pranesh, now we understood how the student can make a way into a top universities. So, how do they make an application? What's the process? How does this thing happen?
Um, Let me try to explain this process through an example. A student is being counseled by Aleph Overseas, and then the student makes an application. The application would come to us. We then generate a conditional or an unconditional offer letter. A conditional offer letter if there are certain conditions pending, like English, academics, etc., or unconditional offer letter if the student has met all the conditions. Now, what we usually do is that once a student has met the conditions, we offer them credibility interviews because that's really important in the UK. And on passing the credibility interviews, we proceed towards CAS stage. So CAS is needed to file visas in the UK. So that's actually from application to the CAS stage. I tried taking through things quite quickly because we have less of time on the call. But this
Thank
is
you.
exactly how a student would proceed by making applications till the CAS stage.
Right. And Pranesh, let me also ask you the next question. What's the fees in this pathway for the students? Just an average
So
idea.
the fees are different for different on-campus centers. Let's take an example, a student planning to study at on-campus London South Bank leading to London South Bank University would cost, say, about 13,890 pounds. But somebody planning to study at on-campus Aston leading to Aston University would be around 15,780 pounds. Somebody planning to study at on-campus Southampton leading to University of Southampton could be approximately 19,000 pounds. I need to send out a very clear message to students and parents is that there's no need to get hassled by the course fee because we offer great bursaries. So, for example, somebody studying at on-campus Southampton could be offered bursaries up to 4,000 pounds. Somebody studying at on-campus Aston could be offered bursaries up to 2,000 pounds. So each center has its own course fee requirements, but over and above, we offer like great scholarships to students. So please do not get confused by the course fee straight away. We'll be happy to offer generous scholarships, please.
Right. So what I understand from Pranesh's conversation, just to summarize, and Pranesh, correct me if I'm wrong, that the students, you get a chance, first of all, is to study at university campus, use the university campus atmosphere, facilities, live that student life, but at the same time, follow the pathway program. And secondly, you have got opportunity, since it's a university supported campus course, you get an opportunity to have a fabulous scholarship in order to have your progression onto the university courses.
Exactly. That's a very good point. Now, on campuses are incorporated within the university premises. So
Right.
students get the same experience as any other student. We offer personalized supervision and attention to students because the classroom size are extremely small as compared to university classroom sizes. And third is we offer soft landing to students. Now, soft landing basically means that we are not only focusing on academic criteria or English criteria, we prepare students to take up university programs. So they become accustomed, they acclimatize well to the
Right.
situation, and you'll be surprised that when students get into the university, at times they perform better than direct university students because they have been prepared through
Right.
pre-university programs.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the most valid points. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Pranesh. Let's move on to this positive note to Switzerland, and let's have Greta. Greta, now we understood the facilities and the USPs and the unique experience what your institute offer. Many times students are concerned about what would happen as a part of the course, what would be the outcome of the course. how am I seeing myself as a professional of tomorrow's professional? So how does your college help students to get onto the dream career post education?
Absolutely. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, employability is a really big focus for our university. Nobody wants to spend XYZ amounts of money to not have a future. So, of course, it is a priority. But the good thing about Swiss hospitality and business education is that included in the course, there are the internships. So the student is already going to get relevant work experience during their programs, and the internships can be in Switzerland. They can also be back home if that's the situation of the student, or it can also be in a third country, like, for instance, Dubai or Maldives or Jamaica or USA even. So we place students in different locations depending on their desires, depending on realistic, opportunities, and also we guide them according to the work permit regulations and things like that. So included in the program, I think they're sorted in the sense that it's an integral part of the program, and all the students will do a minimum of 2 internships. So this is at least 1 year of experience that they will get during the program. Now, what happens afterwards is, of course, also important. We have a career days twice a year period where basically companies will come in to speak to the students and interview them for both internships, management training, and job positions. We work mainly, of course, with hospitality companies, but we do also have connections with other smaller businesses as well. Generally, the Hilton, the Hyatt, the Ritz-Carlton, these are just some of the names of the companies that do visit us. I think everybody has heard of them, yes. So there are a lot of opportunities for worldwide opportunities. We have students from over 40 different countries. So everybody's different. Everybody wants to go to different places. And basically, this is, I think, what makes really hospitality, business, and generally culinary very exciting, because you can go and work in different places. And IMI will provide you, as a small institution, we give a lot of individual attention to our students. We're also one of the first schools in Switzerland to introduce personal and professional development as part of our curriculum. So when you come to study, you're not just learning how to study, but you're learning actually how to be a person and how to be actually a manager in the future, because this is all not so much what's written in the book, but it's really about the experience that you get along the way. So it's certainly a priority, and I know because examples speak better than words. Maybe a couple of Indian students we've had recently, like Sarvesh, for example, Mehrotra, who did his first internship in the UAE in a 5-star property. He did his second internship in Switzerland in a 5-star property. Third internship, he went to the US, and on completion of his J1 training in the US, he got hired. And now, 2 years after graduation, he's a general manager of a hotel in the US.
Wow.
Another example, Kushank Gupta from 2009. So one of the first placements actually that I had the pleasure. I sent also to the US for his J1 training visa, and he is now the managing director of a real estate company in US. So to be perfectly honest, the world is your oyster. You can really have so many opportunities, and certainly very exciting ones. Sometimes I'm jealous, because actually it would be really nice to get also so many options to travel.
Right. So well, you have summarized the entire student story, in this short span of time. Thank you very much, Greta. So, friends, if you really want to not just have international education, but to change your personality, through that additional courses which the school offers, it would lead to change your personal reality. That makes sense. So that's
That's a good
a
one.
very thank you very much, Pallavi. So let's move on to Pallavi, and let's understand from Pallavi. Pallavi, just quickly tell us what SAT or GRE requirement we have for undergrads and postgrad students, and what's the average fees for bachelor and master students?
Right. So we do not really require SATs for the students, except for the students who are going for the NCAA route for the applications. Only if they're taking that route for the athletic scholarships, then they will have to go through the SATs. Otherwise, we do not really require SATs. So we are SAT optional in the sense that we do require the English proficiency from the students for undergrad or grad students. students. But just in case the student has enough grades in the SAT's language section, we can exempt that requirement for the undergrad students as well. So just in case the student has the SAT scores already, we do acknowledge that. From the GRE GMAT perspective, we do not really require those test scores as well for the grad students. So essentially, the only requirement we have from the student is to to go through the English proficiency test. That is the requirement for all the students, whether they come for undergrad or grad. For the grad students particularly, we are very particular about the statement of purpose, and we do want to know more about the student profile in detail in that document. So, and we do have a student interaction session before we really decide on the student's profile. So all those steps are very, very important in our admission process. But from the test requirements, we do not really require SATs or GRE or GMAT.
Thank you. I think that's a big
you
relief for the student.
Is
Yes,
it?
sorry.
Okay. I'm sorry. You mentioned about the fee structure also.
Yep.
So I would touch upon that. So our graduate fee is about $13,500 per year, and the undergraduate tuition fee is about $28,000 per year. But yes, this is excluding the scholarship that I'm mentioning to you.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much. I think that's a pretty standard fees bracket whereby the Tiffin is operating. Might as well I will ask you the last question, and so that before I could move to the next speaker, Pallavi
Sure.
also would like to talk about the next intake, when it could be available, especially for the bachelor students, and how the situation looks like from the safety and health point of view in the US.
Great. That's a very good question, Aslam, and very important question as of now. So, first of all, let me talk about the intake. So we have August intake, which is open right now for the students, and the deadlines for fall is July 15, and this time we have a little delayed, deadlines because of the situation in country. And we have another intake in January. So whoever cannot make up to August can actually think about January. So for January, we have the last date as November 15. So those are our deadlines for two intakes in a year. And let me touch upon the COVID situation particularly that you're talking about. I hope by safety you really mean that. I just wanted to clarify before I go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes. So, this is one of the benefits of being at a suburban campus, that there are not many people. So, in general, USA, is very aggressive in vaccination programs, and you would be, all of us are listening to the news every day, and we see that they are very, very aggressive in the vaccination program. So that, in general, is a relief for all the students who are aspiring to go to US to study. In particular, to Tiffin, I would say we have all the measures in place. We do daily health checks for the students. We recently did a vaccination program at the campus for all our students and staff members. So those are the few activities that we have done for our students and staff members. Now, being a suburban place, Aslam, that was but one benefit that we had, even during the peak time. We never had many cases at the campus. We were well equipped with the isolation facilities and the medical facilities at the campus, because we do have a clinic at the campus which is run with a tie-up with the local hospital there. So we did have all the facilities in place, plus it's a suburban campus, so it's that it's not really concentrated with people at one point of time, so social distancing is far more easier in such places. So we really didn't have any major problem managing the COVID situation at Tiffin particularly. But yes, we had a tough time in general in the US, but I guess we are out of it. And we should be out of it very soon.
Absolutely, we should be out of this very soon, and that I think that should be giving a very detailed information from the parents' point of view to take a positive step towards joining the Tiffin University and to traveling to US. Everything is in place, and that's a very important point Pallavi made. It's a suburban campus, so anyways you do not have a lot of students around, and that also gives you a sigh of relief when you look into these kind of places to study. So thank you, Pallavi, for all this information. Let's move quickly to Pranesh. Pranesh, last question again, same from you. Is that when is the next intake if the student are listening and would like to apply through your pathway program? And also, how is COVID situation in UK? What do you got to say about it?
So thanks for that question. Now, in terms of the next intake, we have the September 2021 intake, and then following would be the Jan 2022 intake. So these are the two upcoming intakes, and you know that mostly students, when they plan to study in the UK, September being the biggest intake for us, and then yes, following January is again bigger. Coming to your point on COVID-19, I think UK has set an example of number of people getting vaccinated. The world knows about it. The
Yes.
COVID situation is under control in the UK, and in coming months, it would be even better. With us, a similar approach, as Pallavi said, that students studying with us at on-campus centers have all kind of sanitization facilities, distance maintaining distance facilities. So everything is quite safe if students plan to study in the UK. One important thing that came out quite recently is that universities in the UK would start face-to-face teaching, should start face-to-face teaching from the 17th of May. Other thing with UK, which is great, is the flexible approach. Students can still study like one term online, and then can come and study in the UK the rest of the program. So the flexibility really gives an edge to the UK education system. And as I said earlier, I'm sure the COVID-19 situation would subside even more in the UK with the kind of planning going around in the UK in terms of vaccination. So everything looks good at this point of time.
Good. So we are hoping that the situation comes back to normal, and UK certainly is setting up a good mark the way they have handled the cases and the way the vaccination drive has been taking place. So thank you, Pranesh, and that should give some confidence to students and parents to go ahead with their application process if they are looking UK as their dream destination. And friends, it's very important what Pranesh mentioned, that you have got the fallback intake in the January as well. So for any reason, if your results get delayed, you have a choice and chance not to waste a lot of time. Just with a gap of 3 months, you're already there in the fresh intake. Okay. Let's move to the last question to Greta. Greta, similar questions for you. If the students who are listening to you and would like to take an admission into your school for Switzerland, when can they apply? And I know that there is a good news coming in from Switzerland, but we'd like to hear more from you about the COVID situation there.
Absolutely. So next intake is towards the end of August, and then we have middle of November and also early February. So it's really very flexible. We have 4 intakes actually per year. So we cater for different nationalities, of course, and also different situations. In terms of COVID, IMI has remained open throughout. Our campus has been open. Study visas have been issued as normal. Students could fly in as usual. Quarantine and isolation has been facilitated on the campus for everybody at no additional charge. So from all of these aspects, things are quite normal, let's say. In terms of the teaching, we were on hybrid mode. So for the last couple of months, so we had basically lectures being taught online, but practical classes like kitchen, like service, these were being done normally, face to face. And the good news is, as you say, there wasn't good news from the Swiss government, is from this week, we are back to normal teaching. And therefore, from this perspective, it is expected that by the August intake, everybody will be normally sort of on the campus. We do have still some hybrid provisions for those maybe on some courses who may wish to stay at home for the first few weeks and then come later. So there is still this element of flexibility. But I think generally Switzerland, is getting along with the vaccinations. The health insurance system is very comprehensive here. Everybody's kind of covered. So, I think from this perspective, hopefully it puts everybody's mind at rest. And just like Pallavi mentioned, we're not in the center of any big city. We are also just outside. We're just by the lake, surrounded by the mountains. It's very kind of, how can I say, safe, and also, fresh air is all around us. So whoever will come to Switzerland, I'm sure will not regret it.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, in a given situation, immunity has been a talk of the town. So if you really want to have a good immunity surrounded location, maybe that you would like to look at IMI as one of the institutes to look for. Thank you, Greta. Thank you very much for this information. So friends, it's very clear that now you are well set and ready. If you are desire to go abroad, there should not be any reason why you should not take the next step. All the universities who are present today from US, UK, and Switzerland are accepting the applications, welcoming the students on campus. They have got enough majors to look after you and yourself so that you live and study in a safe and sound environment. So with this, we'd like to conclude the session. So thank you all the speakers for joining us today. Thank you for your time, efforts, and insight, which you shared with our students and audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having me.
And
Thank you so much for inviting us. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all the audience who are watching us live and will be watching us later on recorded session. If any of our listeners seek further information, please feel free to contact us on our helpline number 9987099890 or visit our website www.alif.in. Our experienced counselor will be happy to assist you instantly. My name is Aslam Sheikh, founder and CEO of Alif, signing off with a promise to come back again on next Friday at sharp 5 p.m. with another interesting topic and with some amazingly talented speaker enlightening us on a subject that matters to you the most. Until then, stay safe and stay excited.